Okay, welcome back. I want to do a video about my batch mixer that I made, the final video on it and the follow-up after using it for a couple months. So for those of you who weren't tracking along, I got this meat grinder. This is a Hobart meat grinder. I picked it up for about $120, and then I spent almost $1,000 probably in the end putting. It was a three-phase, so I put a single-phase 220 motor on there, down there, had an adapter plate made up for it at a local machine shop, and then I made a control box for it to run it all. Now, when I first started with the control box, I had it to where it was timed. I had it to where I could set how long it ran for, and I realized after some use that it wasn't the best setup because as the substrate fluffs up, it needs a different amount of time to run. So you'd constantly be adjusting the run time. So I just went back to a plain old manual foot pedal. It's just a regular foot pedal. So one of the issues with the design flaws, not a flaw, but just something you have to consider if you're ever going to do a mixer with an auger at the bottom, is that bottom auger, this one down here, which feeds out the substrate to the front chute, it needs to be covered with sawdust when you start off, because what happens is if you're putting pellets in there and the dry pellets get all around that auger and then you wet in, it swells the pellets up and then the auger jams. So what I do is I take a small little broom that I have, and whenever I'm done with the mixer, I always leave it just like this, where I'll run as much as I can out of it and then leave it dirty. And the reason for that is I push all the sawdust first thing around that auger, and that stops the auger from getting jammed up. Okay, and you can see now that auger is covered up with sawdust, and I can go ahead and jump in my pellets and they won't jam up on the auger. So and just for those that didn't know, that this auger only works when I have the mixer on counter rotate. So when it's on mixing mode, only the top one works. And then when it's on feed mode, this one and the bottom one spin together. It uses something called a roller clutch. A roller clutch is basically like little bearings that only engage when it gets spun one direction. So this motor is reversible. So I have it on a mix and a fill switch, and then I have it on a run and a timer, which is actually the pedal now. So if I have it forwards, it goes off of this. Okay, and then if I do it the other way, it'll feed out. I'm sorry. If I switch it, the transmission, it'll feed out. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and mix in a batch, and I'll get back to you guys later.